Okay, what is up guys? I'm back with another tutorial video. Today I'll be showing a mixing tutorial on how to mix your beats so that they sound more professional. Because if you leave them just how they are whenever you make them, it doesn't sound as good as they should because there's a lot of extra noises, and I'll go more in depth to that in a second. So I already kind of made a beat. This is just kind of unreleased. This is like what it looks like. I won't play it for you right now. You'll kind of hear bits and pieces, and I'll play the final part at the end. At the end I'll put it so that you can hear what it sounded like before and then what it sounded like after, just so you can know that there was actually a change in how it sounded. But right now, if I were to play it, it'd be just way too loud. So the first thing I do is I single out. Well, first thing you got to go into this and then add everything into the mixer. And the easiest way to do that is just to go like this and then right click into here. I don't know if you can see this, but you right click on the first channel, and then there should be something called routing and then channel routing, and then route. It'll bring up an option with two bars, and it should be route selected channels started from this track. And there's a shortcut, and it's Shift Control L. So if you want to use that, you can. So then once you do that, it should all be here. So then next what you do is you go like this and you right or left click, no, that's right click, and then you go into here, and then, oh, you can't see that. So then you go here, you still can't see that. Well, anyways, you pull up Fruity Parametric EQ2. That's what I use. It's just the easiest because the other one, I'll pull it up just so you can see it. It looks like this, and I mean that's just a little less user friendly. So we're not going to use that. We're just going to remove that. And then, so you do is you play it. So it's going to sound like this. And then what you're going to do, okay. So what you're going to do, you can kind of see all the other stuff in the background. So what you're going to do is you want to remove all this sound. Because what EQing does is it removes a layer, like the sounds, not layers. It removes the sound from that region. So from this region to this region, let's say, it'll remove that sound. It kind of has it labeled right here. So like low bass is typically in this region, bass is in this region, mids, upper mids, treble. So like that's what you do. So you're just kind of making sure that you leave enough space so that all the sounds have a certain spot in your song so that there's nothing colliding. So we're going to do that and then what you can do, see how it's kind of like that, it's not very sharp. You can come up here, and then once you get this little arrow thing, you can pull down. It'll make it sharper so that you can be more precise. So you go you can just drag it in here. And what you're looking for is you're looking for it to change sound. Like you will know when you've gone too far because your normal sound that you want will not be there. I'll go that far just so you can hear it. See, about right here is where it starts to sound kind of hollow. So then you're just going to bring it back and just slowly creep back until you get that sound back. So that's about where I got my sound. So then next, I always bring this down, depending on, you always want to make it sharp like this. At least I do most of the time, unless I'm just being lazy and it's not that precise. And then you want to start back here and slowly creep in. So that sounds about good to me. So then we're just going to leave it like that. There's not much more to do for it. So I'm just going to quickly go through. Well, I'll go through. Here, I'm not going to quickly go through. I'll just go through it all. So then next you move to this one. So this one sounds like this. See how kind of that's loud? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down, sharpen it right there. But see how it's kind of like ding ding, like it's really sharp. So let me just bring this down. So then I'm gonna go like this and kind of filter out those sounds. And see right there, it kind of gets really high pitched. You don't want that noise, so you just bring it down, widen it, Boom. There you go. You get that. So in the final song, like how I had it so that it had a growth speed on it. So it was in halftime. So you just go like this and click over until you see this one right here, and you click it. So then it'll sound like this. So then that kind of just adds like a little bit more of a creepy tone to it, I guess. And then next, so that's all we're going to do for that one. That sounds right to me. So then next we're going to go to the snare. And I have two snares actually, but we're just going to start with one. So then open this up. Okay. So then you drag this down. You never want to see how this is kind of this is kind of like the main area. You don't ever want to drag it past that, because otherwise it gets that sound. Like it sounds really hollow. So you want to bring it back out. And then I always raise this up a little bit right there. So it gives a little bit more of a punch on that area. So that's all we need to do on that one. So we'll just go to the next one. So then drag this down. Drag this up. A lot of the sounds kind of in the back. So you can kind of see, like whenever I play it, you can see like the red area that it's in. So you know that's how, like where most of the sound is. So if you want to boost it like I do for this snare because it's kind of quiet, you raise those levels up right here. So yeah, so you see how it's it gets louder when I do that. So that's how you want it. So then for the hi-hats, this is the hi-hats. You want to cut all this sound out because it's only back here. But see how it kind of got muffled back here to right here? You just raise this up a little bit. Bada bing, bada boom. Those are the hi-hats. That's all you gotta do. So then next is the open hat. There's not much I do on the open hat. I don't really even give it that much attention. Whenever I come into here, I just kind of go like that, maybe raise it up a little bit, and it sounds fine to me. Most of the time in your songs, the hi-hat is not like, or the open hat is not really the most specific part of your song, so it's not that big of a deal if you can't hear it. I mean, it's a big deal if you can't hear it because it adds element, but like you don't need to focus so much on it. So next is the kick. So then same thing, open it up, and then, but this time you're gonna notice that it's more over here in the low bass mid area. So what you gotta do is you still cut off this frequency. Just make it sharp right here, and then you're still gonna drag this down, and then boost it right here so that it gives it more of a. So you see how I kind of did that? Kind of made sure I highlighted the certain areas that are really the main point in it, so that it doesn't sound, because if I go like this, that sounds bad, but back here it sounds way better. So we're gonna do that, and then the 808 comes next. So the 808s, I don't know, I think I have them really hard in this, so all you gotta do, yeah. And I like my 808s like that. That's how I like my 808s. So you're gonna do the same thing as what you did on the kick. Raise it up, make this sharper, and then that's it. It's kind of like, it looks kind of like a solid brick at this point, but we'll fix that in a minute. So then you go, I have this chant, and there's some sounds I don't really need in there, like this. There we go. So that's good. Oh, okay, so that's good. So then next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna select them all, control, click it, and then drag it, and then drag it all down. And then one by one, we're gonna bring it up and level it, because you always want to start small and then bring it back up so that it sounds better. Because otherwise, if you start with it all at the top right here, you're not going to be able to like hear certain sounds and where they need to be. But if you make it quieter, you can be more attentive to detail, and then you can raise the volume later. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, that's here. I might want to raise this up a little bit. So that sounds about good to me. Now what you do next is you go into this, or you right click, and then you find something called Maximus. So it's called Maximus. It looks like this. So then next, you won't be able to see this, but you go into presets, and then you go into mastering, and there's going to be something called Master Aid 1. You're going to click that. I don't know what that is. That's not going to pop up for you. But then whenever you play it, you can turn it up. So then, and then what I do from there is I click the solo and I go into each individual level and I level it out. And then that's pretty much the final product, but what that Maximus did right there was it allowed, like what I was doing there with each one of these things, was I was leveling it out so that the sounds weren't colliding. Honestly, that's this part is very important with making sure that the volume's up, because if you just turn it up through this or through the mixer, it'll peak. But see how whenever I go like this, it doesn't peak. It stays below 1 decibel. So that's always good. Make sure you do that. So then that's pretty much it. After this you're gonna see the comparison to the beat no and no, like mixing and with mixing. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos. I'll be putting more tutorials out there. I got a bunch more stuff on the way. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.